A struggling geologist manages to convince Wall Street that he has found the largest gold deposit in human history. He secures a massive $6 billion valuation for a mine hidden deep in the Indonesian jungle. But there is exactly zero gold in the ground. Instead, the gold appearing in the rock samples is coming from his own hand. He is secretly filing down his wedding ring and sprinkling the metal dust into the crushed rock bags. This chart tracks the trajectory of that illusion. The valuation flatlines for years, explodes straight up to $6 billion, and then instantly evaporates back to zero. Wall Street analysts and venture capitalists are supposedly the smartest guys in the room, but when immense greed collides with a charismatic founder selling an irresistible dream, institutional investors will eagerly fund a completely fake product. In the early 1990s, David Walsh, a promoter fresh out of personal bankruptcy, scraped together enough cash to buy an obscure penny stock company called Bre-X Minerals. He quickly teams up with two geologists, John Felderhoff and Michael de Guzman, and sets up operations on a remote patch of Indonesian terrain known as Busong. Shortly after arriving, they announce a massive strike. They claim there are millions of ounces of gold buried in the dirt, causing venture capitalists to swarm the project like a dog hearing a chip bag open. The operation is located entirely in the middle of a dense, unmapped jungle. That extreme isolation acts as a physical shield. It makes standard financial scrutiny and independent geological verification almost impossible for the analysts sitting in Manhattan high-rises. De Guzman is practicing a classic mining scam called salting. Before core samples are sent to the lab, he literally scrapes pieces off his gold wedding ring, mixing the shavings directly into the dirt. Eventually, his ring runs completely out of metal. To keep the scam going, he starts buying panned gold from local river miners and dumping it into the sample bags by the handful. This chart shows the direct result of those falsified lab reports. The stock price starts at pennies and goes completely vertical, accelerating past $280 a share, and handing this tiny exploration company a staggering $6 billion market cap. Everyone wants a piece. Major mutual funds buy in heavily, and huge investment banks throw their entire weight behind the project, stamping it with glowing buy ratings. By using tampered physical evidence to pass real laboratory tests, Bre-X constructs a false foundation of scientific trust. The entire financial sector relies on that single point of failure, without ever checking the source. Outside experts notice that the gold particles in the lab samples have rounded edges. This is a massive geological red flag. Rounded edges indicate gold that has been smoothed out by flowing river water over centuries, not sharp gold drilled directly out of hard underground rock. When pressed on this impossibility, de Guzman invents a brand new geological theory on the spot. He insists it is a localized anomaly and tells investors to simply trust his genius. This is exactly the playbook Elizabeth Holmes uses at Theranos years later. She convinces Silicon Valley she can run 200 tests from a single drop of blood, and when asked for the actual science, essentially replies, "Revolutionary advanced science. Have a great day." The logic mirrors the late 1990s dot-com bubble, where millions flowed into revenue-free companies like ToiletSeatTracker.com. In this environment, investors prioritized pure vibes over sustainable business models. During a severe market mania, the actual mechanics of a business become irrelevant. Sophisticated investors will actively choose a confusing, fabricated story over objective data as long as the stock line keeps going up. By 1997, the Indonesian government intervenes. They force Bre-X to partner with a massive, established mining operation called Freeport-McMoRan to actually start pulling the gold out of the earth. Freeport sends in their own team of veteran geologists. They completely bypass de Guzman's operation and drill their own independent core samples straight from the jungle floor. The lab results come back, and they find absolutely nothing. The entire $6 billion site is composed of regular, worthless dirt. A closed loop of internal data can sustain a lie indefinitely, but the moment a physical audit is conducted by an external, operationally equipped partner, the financial illusion shatters. Before he has to answer to the audit, Michael de Guzman boards a flight over the Indonesian jungle. He mysteriously falls out of the helicopter, leaving behind a suicide note and a long list of unanswered questions. The independent reports are published to the wider market, confirming the entire mine is a massive, carefully orchestrated fraud. absolute panic spreads like wildfire across trading desks. The Bre-X stock performs a flawless 10-meter dive into concrete. $6 billion in market value evaporates instantly, leaving the smartest analysts and major institutional investors holding bags of literal dirt. Whether it is a magical blood testing machine or a multi-billion-dollar jungle gold mine, extraordinary claims demand extraordinary physical evidence. The moment a collective hallucination meets reality, the money simply ceases to exist. If you enjoyed this deep dive into the absolute madness of historical markets, hit that like button and subscribe to Irony Economics.